Jim Ross on Grill and JR, you and I and Sondra covered the Survivor Series 2000 on Patreon, and JR was covering that on Grill and JR with Conrad Thompson, and Conrad asked him about the shocking statistic that as of Survivor Series 2000, the last time Triple H took a pinfall loss from anyone other than The Rock was Buried Alive 96 in October 96 to Steve Austin. But JR said that Triple H was always business, he was willing to put MD over, and it's merely, I guess, a coincidence you would infer from that. How would you rate Triple H's decision or coincidental nature that he didn't take a pinfall loss from anyone in over 4 years apart from The Rock?
Well, I mean, the thing is, some of it has to be coincidence because, I mean, he didn't really have power, did he, until, would you say, 99? And like Shawn Michaels was his guardian angel for a while, but I mean, Michaels was on the outs for the company at various points in 1997. He obviously left after WrestleMania 14 as well. So, I mean, I think, perhaps a lot of it was happenstance. I mean, I can't really explain why anyone in his position, because I mean, let's face it, he was a mid-carder, and really a kind of somebody who many felt was pushed beyond his station prior to 1998. It is hard to believe almost that he went that long unbeaten on pay-per-view. I mean, the stat everyone always talked about back in the 2000s was that he was the first heel to retain the title at WrestleMania 2000. Mm-hmm. And that was always something that people talked about as an illustration of how much power he had, that he was like the first villain to achieve this amazing feat. But by then he was obviously a top guy. He was with Stephanie. You could understand why that outcome would have occurred. But it really is, I think a lot of people were probably reading more into this than there is to be read. So, I've got to agree with Jim Ross here. Well, what do you think of all this, Kenny?
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't have in 1997 been like, I'm not going to put over Mick Foley. It's fine. I'm not going to do it. So, but yeah, I think because he had Shawn Michaels kind of looking after him for years and years, and then, because, I mean, you're right, when he was a mid-card guy in sort of 98, early 99, you would never have imagined he would be what he was. But when he kind of became the top guy in July 99, I think it was, when he did that promo with JR, where he talked about being the game, and then where Austin wouldn't put him over at SummerSlam. So, Austin had to lose the belt to Mankind, and then Mankind dropped to the next night to Triple H, and then he had this great run through 99 and 2000, so I think he'd built up a lot of good equity with fans. So, I mean, when you were doing Power Slam, did you feel that kind of late 2000, early 2001, did Triple H, because people look back on it and say, Triple H and his reign of doom, did you feel that way at the time in 2000, or is that just people have kind of developed that term for him over time?
Actually, one thing, SummerSlam 1997, didn't he had a cage match there, didn't he, with Mankind?
He did,
and wasn't that an escape the cage finish?
Yes. Yeah.
So he did lose. Technically, he did lose on that show, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think he lost matches, but he didn't lose any by pinfall, apart from The Rock.
Okay, well, people are grasping at straws there, really. It wasn't that he wasn't beaten, it was just that he didn't do any pinfall jobs. And certainly at that point, if Vince had said, you're losing by pin, there would have been no resistance from him or, I'm sure, Shawn Michaels. So I think that was just the way it played out. And obviously, Hunter had beaten Foley in the final of King of the Ring in June. And then this was Triple H returning, or Hunter Hearst Helmsley, as he still was then, returning the favour to Mankind in the cage at SummerSlam. But I mean, going back to his reign of doom, yeah, definitely in 2000, there was a lot of people talking about it, and people were very aware that he was the top guy and that he was using his power and his influence backstage to get ahead and to step on people to preserve and protect his position. And that happened for many years afterwards. I mean, there was a lot of talk really going into WrestleMania 17, because obviously it was Undertaker versus Triple H there, and it was like, who's going to do the job? Is Triple H finally going to lose on this show? And I think by then the streak was something that people were aware of. So I think it was known that he would have to lose to the Undertaker. But this really was one of those sort of one of these matches of like who's going over and who's going under. And obviously it was Triple H, and that was the right decision. I think they did have a good match on the night. I always remember it was kind of spoilt by, wasn't there a choke slam spot? I'm sure you'll remember this, Kenny. There was a choke slam spot off a ledge or something where it was clear that he landed on a crash mat.
Yeah.
Like that. And it was like, oh, that's kind of ruined the illusion. Not that I'm suggesting that Triple H should have suffered an injury. Of course, I'm not suggesting that. But it's just like, get the camera work right. And it was very atypical of WWF to screw that one up, really. So, yeah, I mean, but absolutely, when he became a star, post SummerSlam 99, everyone, I think, became acutely aware, really by WrestleMania 2000, that this was the Triple H show. Obviously, Austin was on the shelf at this time. This was the Triple H show, and he was going to be going over a lot more than he was putting people over.
Well, we need to give him some credit because, I mean, watching 2000 every week, The Undertaker hasn't had a great match yet since he's been back in May, and the first great match he really has, one-on-one, is the Triple H match at WrestleMania 17, so Triple H got a good match out of him, and he put him over, so, I mean, he's obviously picked the right spot to do that, but, he did do it. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to support the channel, you can sign up to our sponsor, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN means that when you go online, your data is 100% secure no matter what you do on the web. And if you maybe want to watch Canadian Netflix or American Hulu, ExpressVPN have servers in over 100 different countries. We have this amazing Black Friday deal available where you can get 49% off, and the deal is available all the way through to December 14th. All you need to do to sign up is go to itrwrestling.com/VPN.